Anthony, we heard from both Ryan Day and Jim Knowles, as we have several Tuesdays in a row and anticipate that we will throughout the course of the season. And I have to be honest, it was a more telling press conference than I anticipated. I'm happy about that. I think there were some things they left unsaid that maybe we need to read between the lines a little on. But the most important thing we know now for sure is that Kyle McCord is the starting quarterback moving forward. Day told both Kyle and Devin Brown that news on Tuesday. He said he had kind of felt like that was the right decision to make even immediately after the game on Saturday, but didn't feel like it was the right time to just come out and say that Kyle had won the job. We've talked for several days now. We thought that was the obvious decision. So asking your immediate reaction on that seems silly because I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And first of all, that was yesterday's press conference was, one of the better ones that we've had from them to this point. It's been pretty consistent that on Tuesday, Coach Day obviously speaks. He'll speak every Tuesday, but we were kind of hoping maybe get Coach Hartline in there instead of Coach Knowles. But I don't know. We'll get into a couple clips from Coach Knowles, and after we do, I do suggest going back to our page and watching his entire presser because it's very eye-opening, and he went into a lot of good detail about really what's going on the defensive side. And honestly, if every press conference starts being like today's or yesterday's was, Tuesday is going to become my favorite day of the week because that was fun to listen to, and I think a lot happened. And in terms of the quarterback position, I love it. I love just the fact that there's something decided. I think it would have been a massive mistake if you go into this game still carrying that competition into week 3. I think it was very critical, and I think it was a goal of theirs. Like, hey, by Western Kentucky, you may have even said this 2 or 3 weeks ago. By Western Kentucky, we have a guy so that our team can start to grow in the match. So that's incredible news. I thought it was great, just great little nuggets here and there, but also some things that I think we could have went a little bit deeper on, or he could have. But I think all in all, it was a pretty telling day yesterday down at the Woody.
And Ryan was asked, hey, why now? And why, if you have been so set on figuring out one versus the other, Kyle versus Devin, when you're playing an opponent that you're favored to beat by almost 4 touchdowns, why make the decision now? And I thought his answer was actually just as important as it was to name Devin the backup to Kyle, in saying that, look, I think it puts Kyle's mind at any ease or peace, right? Like when you're either fighting for your job or you're not. And in some ways you're always fighting for your job, but there's something to be said for knowing like, okay, this is the direction that we're going to move forward. And so you can relax a little because everybody stops pressing. But I think Ryan also referenced the fact that as a team, it's kind of good to know like, hey, this is our dude. This is our guy. This is who we're rallying behind. Let's go. And maybe there's not this like schism in the team of one, and I'm not saying that there is, but something could develop where the longer it plays out, where they don't have a decisive answer on quarterback, maybe some guys think one way, some guys think another, and you don't want to create those issues.
Yeah, and it's not a maybe, Brennan. I mean, that's a real thing. And, I talked about this a couple weeks back, I've experienced this before. And, like, this isn't something that, like, when you turn a competition and you start moving into the season, your focus is in the wrong places as the quarterback, right? I think that when he says peace of mind, as a fan, I wouldn't think that he's going to be like more relaxed. I think it just changes where he's channeling his energy, where it comes from, hey, every day in practice, I'm battling Devin, where now every day in practice, I'm battling Western Kentucky, or next week, I'm battling Notre Dame, or as we go down the road, he can focus on the opponent as opposed to focusing on having the better practice, focus on getting better for Saturday afternoon, because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing and that's what the goal is. But it truly is. I mean, it's a real thing. Like once that happens and it's decided, there is certainly a level of, just relaxation where it's like, hey, okay, I can now, instead of focusing on beating Devin, or on the flip side, Devin focused on beating Kyle, it's now we're both focusing on our roles for Saturday afternoon. And that's what I'm going to wake up and think about on Monday. It's going to wait what I think about on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and so on. So I think it's such a huge deal and such a huge step that you'll see some improvement, I believe, in Kyle's play.
Well, as a team, everybody needs to be a little bit more consistent. And, in terms of that quarterback battle, I think Day recognized that Kyle has been more consistent and a little more commanding in gameplay itself. And there was just no reason to continue on. But it certainly doesn't mean that Devin's never going to see the field either. It just puts the team at ease to know, okay, we've got our guy, and now let's move forward and see what happens.